Hey friends, welcome back to Hops World, and today is going to be our very first edition of Happy Hour at Hops World, and we're going to be talking about Teamaker hops. Yes folks, tea with hops. How about it? Yeah, back in the 1970s began a breeding program at the USDA ARS Forage Seed and Cereal Research Unit with the acronym FSCRU in Corvallis, Oregon by Dr. Alfred Hinaud. And the idea was to make a new hops variety with real high beta acid and low alpha acid. Yeah, even higher beta than Galena, which was actually the first super alpha variety. And they really achieved their goal when they created this hops. They used 31.25% Fuggle, 12.5% Late George, 12.5% Late Cluster, and the rest are unknown varieties using various crosses throughout various years to come up with this pure aromatic hops. Yeah, there's absolutely no bitterness. It's really similar to crystal hops, but without the bitterness. It's not really used commercially in many brews, but for a home brew and a late addition to the boil, it's perfect. It's really great, even better than for beer, is for a late evening tea, just like I have here, to help with drowsiness. And you can even use it to make an iced tea. So, without further ado, let's go out into our hop yard and check out our Teamaker hops plant. Hey, so here we are with our Teamaker plant here in our experimental hop yard in Southeast Pennsylvania in the United States. We actually only have one plant in the ground, and we actually use this plant a lot for breeding. Teamaker has real super low alpha acids and super high beta acids, even higher than Galena, which was one of the very first super alpha varieties with real high beta acids. So the cones of Teamaker are rather smallish, kind of semi-tight, pointed, roundish, not squarish like some cones, and anywhere from a ½ inch to maximum 1.5 to 2 inches long. Teamaker has really low alpha acids at 0.5 to 1.2%. I actually saw a publication that said 1.8%. And beta acids really high, 5.3 to 13.2%. Our Teamaker actually tested at 0.4 alpha and over 8 in beta. As far as oils, almost just below 1 milliliter per 100 grams of hops. Teamaker has a real high growth rate, real large leaves in comparison to other varieties. Teamaker is a very hardy hops plant, grows very strong, very fast, and the bines get very thick at the base and even growing up the string. And the bines and the sidearms actually get very purplish reddish compared to a lot of other hops varieties. Sidearms I would consider large, up to about 48 inches on this plant here and most of our plants. It's relatively easy to harvest, although we don't have a picking machine, but based on reports, it's easy to harvest. As far as the HSI Hop Storage Index, Teamaker retains 70% of the alpha acids, the little bit that it has, for 6 months at 70 degrees Fahrenheit. It has floral and herbal smells and aromas, and they definitely has a tea-like aroma. They even say a black tea. Teamaker is best used at the end of the boil or in a dry hop, obviously, since there's no bitterness whatsoever. but in a dry hop will bring out all of them aromas and flavors that you're looking for in these new style beers. Teamaker isn't used very much commercially. It has been used. Sierra Nevada made a beer with it. Now and then there's a beer that comes out, more of a niche type thing. But for us home brewers, it's a great addition to any boil. But the best use of Teamaker, as I mentioned before, would be in a nice hot tea before you go to bed. Add some cones, let it soak in your tea, or even make a nice iced tea to use during the day. So, Teamaker hops, what'd you think? Here we are back in Hops World. And before we go, I wanted to tell you a little story, a sad story. Hopefully it has a happy ending about Teamaker hops. In early 2000, John Siegel, the owner of Siegel Ranch, 5th generation hops grower. I know him personally. I've been to his ranch. Great guy. Well, he decided to grow Teamaker hops to use in chicken feed. Yes, folks, the largest chicken company in the world, grower and cultivator and seller of chicken, I'm not going to name the company, it doesn't matter, was testing using Teamaker hops as an antibacterial in their chicken feed. So they were putting only a half a pound in 1 ton of chicken feed. But even at that portion, if they could close the deal with this company, they would have to grow enough Teamaker for the whole state of Oregon. That's how much chicken feed that this company uses. They are a huge conglomerate. So, John decided to put a patent in 2004 to use specifically Teamaker hops in chicken feed. When he applied for the patent, bam, immediately came lawsuits from John Haas, who had already applied for a patent in 2002 to use hops in general in animal feed. People say that patent was way too general and should never even been granted, but regardless, that ended all prospect and future prospect to use Teamaker hops in animal feed. Now, the good news. I did some research. The John Haas patent has apparently expired. They didn't go forward with it. And the Siegel patent is going to expire in 2025. So in a few more years, hopefully, Teamaker hops will come back as a use as an antibacterial in hops in favor of using drugs. It literally replaced putting antibiotics in the food. So I think the future for hops in general could be larger for use for all kinds of other uses, especially pharmaceutical. I mean, they have cancer curing agents in hops, folks, if you didn't know. And we're gonna do a future video about all the possible uses of hops. But this hops, Teamaker, hopefully will become more popular again and be grown again commercially, and especially for uses pharmaceutical, and for us to become available to make our own tea. Another tip we're going to put up shortly is how to make tea, hot tea, and iced tea with Teamaker hops, or any hops for that matter. Why not? Craft hops tea. Thanks for being here, folks. I really enjoyed it. If you liked, put a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Hit that notification button so you know which tip is coming up. Same time, same place, same channel. Every week, happy hour at Hops World. Cheers to life.